Hi my friends. So today we're going to focus on something a little different. Now, I don't know if by any chance you guys have had the option to order plants by mail, but that's typically what I do, depending on if something I'm looking for is a little bit more rare or not easy to come by, especially here in Las Vegas. So these type of plants that I ordered, I got them from a seller on one of the Facebook purge groups. And as you can see, she has the plant wrapped in paper here. And then I can tell that there is this type of cotton slash foam. Now that's pretty normal, especially for the way that the plant is gonna ultimately look. You know, with these type of plants, before I get into it, the biggest thing is you wanna make sure that you retain every single leaf, including variegation. Because when we think about it this way, variegation is really what sets the plant apart from all your other ones, right? You have your typical green plant, which is pretty standard, right? You know, green Hoyas, for instance. I have money trees that are green. This right here is a ZZ, and this one's also green as well. But of course, you can understand that. But let's take a look and see exactly what we're talking about when it comes to these type of plants. Now, I got lucky. I had just got onto that purge when I realized that they also were selling some of my favorite plants. So right now, I'm obsessed when it comes to what I call the royal family. Now, the royal family has Pink Princess, White Princess, Dark Knight, Dark Lord, excuse me, White Wizard, White Knight. So there's quite a couple of variegations out there. And then of course, with all the crossing back and forth between plants and making them more and more pretty and more desirable, of course the price goes up. So let me show you. This is gonna be the first one. Now, I got a freebie when I went ahead and placed this order. I wasn't exactly sure how the freebie was gonna look like. So let me find out and see exactly which one's which. Because one of them is bigger than the other one already. So it's okay, you can see that the leaf is a little dehydrated, but you can also see the speckles of variegation. So on this puppy right here, the leaves are kind of a different color. You see how they have the overall green. You can see the hints of pink on here, hopefully you can. And then of course like this lighter whitish color. So let's go ahead and keep opening it up and we'll find out which one's which. Now, I skipped the video of me unboxing it. Let's just say that I get a little crazy when it comes to scissors. So I felt it was safer to just do this without the boxing, without the scissors. So yeah, so this is what we got today. But so far, the seller that I got these beautiful plants from definitely has been hitting top A++ status. Now, wow. Look at how beautiful these are. So typically the sellers don't really incorporate the actual the nursery pot in there, but it looks like this one did. Now take a look at this one. So this is a beautiful, let's see if we can zoom in a little bit. That's a beautiful pink color and coloration. Like I said, this one that I'm still in love with. And this one here too. Now, on this one, I hope this one's the freebie. Because there was one of them that's like a rehab. So when you call it a rehab project, it basically means you're gonna start chopping a couple things off. So yeah, this one's the freebie for sure. You can see that there's leaf damage, and that can be a variable of different objects and things like watering, lighting, over fertilizer. But yeah, so we'll leave it just like this one. And like we mentioned, this is a Pink Princess Philodendron. Now, don't ask me what my deal is, but for some reason, I now have like 4 or 5 of these and a couple on the way as well. So you can tell that these are my favorite for now. And some of the other ones that have like better variegation, I'll bring up another one that I just bought, and that one's more dark, but I also love like the color of the actual leaves as well. So I'll show you that in just a minute. Let's go ahead and open the next one that we have here. Now keep in mind, especially if you know how to, seek a good deal and you know how to, really look at different pictures to show the variegation that you're looking for, things of that nature, right? So luckily I didn't spend a whole lot of money. Like I said, one of them I paid for and the other one was a freebie. And so let's hope that this one is also showing us some really good coloration. So once again, it's wrapped up all pretty. Okay. All right, let's check it out. All right. So this one is actually showing a lot more pink. So that's exactly what we're looking for. We're looking for that pink variegation. Now, it's funny how this works out. So I paid for this one, thinking it was the biggest one here, but actually the biggest one was the freebie. And so that's why I was like, okay, I'll just chop it up a little bit, kind of break it down and cut it down quite a ways. Now on here, you see how it has these little area roots right here? Well, that's good because what I can do is I can actually go in there with my pruning scissors, cut it off right here, and then these aerial roots will actually help the plant grow bigger. And I don't know if I can show you very well on here, but you see that pink stripe? And you see how this one also has a very solid like little pink stripe right here? So that shows variegation, which is really good. Now, of course, like on like the white princess or the white knight or even the white wizard, you're actually gonna see like a very, very clear white. Now, it's very distinguishable. So you know for a fact that that plant is gonna be shooting out typical light green and also white variegation. Now, it depends though. I know the white wizard also produces a lot of different, beautiful colors, but also it focuses on the white aspect of the plant. So that's what I have going on for now. Really happy with it. Like I mentioned, sometimes you don't know, you get credit for it, by checking every so often the different purges that they're doing. But this one's actually a brand new leaf. So very, very promising when it comes to that. Okay, now as I promised, let me show you my other Pink Princess that I have another one too, but that one's a little bit smaller. So I might just include a picture of it. Right now it's in a growing tank, or pretty much it's just a terrarium that I converted into a growing tank. It has a really good full spectrum lighting. It's just like a light that you can attach to the top of it, and then I also control the humidity. And so far it's doing really good. Now get ready for this. Let me show you this one. So you can see how this one, and sorry, I just got this one recently, literally within the last 2 days, and I haven't really had a chance to go ahead and clean the leaf off, but now you can tell already that there's literally small amounts of pink on here. So this is what you call low variegation. You see how, again, we don't really have much to work with. And then this one here is literally all dark, but it's actually taking out it's gonna shoot out a brand new leaf, which is good. Once again, I showed you how the variegation, like that pink stripe that's coming up, that indicates that the plant does have variegation in it. But for instance, this one, as soon as I find it growing upwards a little bit more, I'm actually gonna go ahead and cut it. Right now, it wouldn't be appropriate to cut it just because it only has this one growing point. But later on, I do plan on snipping it, especially if it does get some aerial roots. So far on this one, it's in a self-watering container, so it's doing pretty well. Now, a lot of my other plants I already converted to pumice. It just depends. I didn't want to do leca for the reason that I felt like it's just too heavy of a material. Leca is like these little clay balls They come in different sizes depending on your need for it, right? And so the leca would essentially be your growing medium. And I figured it was a lot easier to do it with pumice. So far I've had really good results, and it's also a form of hydroponic. This one is actually in this type of container, and you see how it has this plastic ribbon on the top. Well, in here you'll have these little shoelace type of situation going on, and when you fill up the pot's currently empty, right? But when you fill it up, it's actually going to go ahead and soak into the string, and it's going to load it right back up into the plant, which is actually really, really good. Helps me, especially, you know, if I ever go on a little sabbatical, take a couple weeks off, why not? But here's this one too, and I do have one more on the way. Now, the one that I have on the way is called a marble Pink Princess. I'll have to show you a picture of it. Now, keep in mind, I got a really good deal on it, but it's also as they call it, it's a plug. So it's not fully rooted in like a 4-inch pot. These are 6-inch, and this one could possibly be a 4-inch, but a lot of times they're just like these little plants that are growing really well, and then you just have to nurture them. So that one I'm probably gonna put into some pumice as well, and also put it into the growing terrarium that I have, or the grow tank, and really focus on the coloration. But I think overall I'm pretty content with the shipment that I got today. It did get lost in the mail, so I will fully disclose that. But things happen, and the seller that I got them from was actually like very, very reasonable, and she offered to give me a refund in the event that I couldn't get the package delivered today. It was just a little mistake where the seller forgot to include my apartment number, or basically as the USPS would call it, the identifying number for the residence. But got on the phone real quick, was very patient with the automatic machine, and eventually I was told to go down to the local USPS office, and I did. And that's where I was able to give him the information, and literally within 15 minutes of me coming home, I had already got a call back from the gentleman there, and he's like, hey, it's going to be delivered shortly, and I just want to let you know that thank you. And I was like, wow, thank you for going above and beyond, because typically once it gets redirected or delayed or anything of that mess, you know for a fact that it's no longer, like, you don't want to play ball no longer, and I get that. But yeah, luckily everything turned out good. I'm gonna make sure that I soak these just for a little bit in water. But overall, I'm really content. So on this one, this was actually $20, and I don't think it's a bad deal whatsoever. And like I said, this one's the freebie, but I'm gonna chop it up. Yeah, and this I'm gonna do a chop job, but just to show you guys one more time. And depending on how comfortable I am, I'll go ahead and do a video of it. It just depends. But that way you have a really good overview of how to propagate them. And like I said, propagation is just taking a cutting from one plant and rooting it in water, or whatever growing medium you want to put that into, which could be soil, and it could also be pumice, leca, or even perlite. So we'll see how that goes, but as soon as I cut this back, I'm sure that I'll be able to get a little bit more variegation, because that ultimately promotes more growing for the plant. It means that it has to focus less energy on growing out this part. But so far so good. All right, guys, I'll catch you on the next one.